Tom, we're on air, I take it. Where was this was taken in Dublin, look, by the looks of things.
Yes, indeed. At the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Dublin.
And who was up with Mike Burke for doing that?
Dan Goodrich drove up.
Right.
A gang of us went up with him. And that's Sean Jennings from Kinvara that's up on the boat.
Oh, the fellow up there in the...
Yeah,
that
and
guy.
that's Inderbrogan at the back of the boat.
And Inderbrogan at the back.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the Linans and Ballyclare over there as well.
Right.
You can see one of them up on the boat in the front as well.
Oh, I see the hand there. That's James Linan, is it?
James Linan, yeah.
Right. So, and
this up around St. Stephen's Green, I'd say, before the parade started.
All right.
And
what kind of a reception did you get up there?
Great. The only problem was the wires were very low across the street, so the mast had to come down for every wire we passed. So there was a lot of work involved.
All right. So there was a good mehel though up there.
Well, there was a big gang there, right?
Yeah, you had a good
mehel. And the whole job was set up over here at the boatyard.
The boatyard. All right. Yeah, right. And the man himself isn't there. What do you call him again? Bill, the driver.
Oh, Dan Goodrich was driving.
Oh, Dan Goodrich that was driving?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was his Jeep.
His Jeep that was there, Dan Goodrich. Oh, there you go. And what year was that, you know?
I think it was 1982.
Good Lord, it's a good few years ago, 1982. Okay, let's now move on.
That's up in the hurling field. That was Quinn and Maud hurling match as well between Kinvara and Ballinderry.
So Kinvara obviously won it.
Obviously won it, yeah.
But Joe Mitchell got to go to them.
Yeah.
Present
John Sullivan and
Kevin Hooven presenting the prize there. And who are those young lads there, I wonder?
I don't know.
They were just watching to see what was going on, I suppose, wasn't it? Lovely picture. Now,
that's in
where was
that was in Johnston's in the hostel.
Was that in the hostel?
Yeah.
And now we have. It looks as if they're not talking to one another. I was looking at that the other day there.
That's on the left. I think that's Gary O'Brien, Helen.
Oh, Helen O'Brien.
O'Brien, yeah.
All right, and she's talking to Siobhan Ford. Right.
And the next girl is O.D. from Cushcame.
Where's the Cushcame?
Cush came up past on the way to Carn.
Oh, the way up to Carn, yeah.
It's one of the ODs.
They weren't in Seamount that time, were they?
No, this would have been afterwards.
Afterwards, yeah. And that's Mary
McLaughlin.
Mary McLaughlin. And I wonder who was on.
There wouldn't be anything on. There was just.
Is it a Christmas party or something? You have the Christmas decorations up there.
Well, at that time, an awful lot of sessions moved from Tully's across to Johnston's.
Oh, right.
So it probably was around Christmas time, but it mightn't be any particular occasion.
So they're over there for the heat. They have the heat anyway. And
but the music.
Oh, the music would have moved across from Tully's.
Yeah, if there's music in Tully's, and when Tully's had closed, the whole gang would move across to Johnston's and carry on.
Now, I just wonder if I'll just ask him out there about the sound, whether we have to maybe come a bit nearer for the sound to it. Maybe not. How far do we have to be from it for sound? So there's no problem with that. Okay. No, I think that's a grand picture of old Kinvara.
That's
Paddy Kilkelly's. Yeah.
Credit Union now.
And I wonder who the two fellas are there that are walking down the street. That guy there from the side looks like John McCormack.
I haven't a clue now. I don't know. Just
I wouldn't have a clue who that is there.
And who's in the upstairs window?
I wonder who did those paintings. There's paintings or something that they're put on the window.
Just for make it look better.
Yeah, and so for people who don't recognise the building, it's now the credit union, the Kinvara Credit Union. And that time it was Paddy Kilkelly's, isn't it? Paddy Kilkelly.
Who worked up in Seamount.
Yeah. So it's a good picture of it. And I love that one.
That's Richie at the
Richie Burke standing at the door. looking at what was going on down the town.
It looks like there wasn't a lot going on.
It does, yeah. That was his carpentry shop,
his
wasn't
workshop,
it?
yeah.
That was a workshop.
That's where he used to make the coffins.
That's right. He worked with John Ryan. That's where he did his apprenticeship. Jerry Ryan's father.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and John Ryan used to make the coffins in his time.
Well, I remember going in there with my father when I was very, very young, and the place was full of timber.
In Riches, is it?
Yeah. He had a coffin up on trestles and working away.
Yeah.
There was a few people in talking.
Yeah. No, he had a brother called Paddy who was used to.
And then the sister as well.
And what was her name? Oh God, I thought it was there a minute ago, and it's gone out of my head again.
Was it Kate or something?
I'll think of it again.
But Richie was a bit of a boss.
He was, yeah, he was. But
he knew an awful lot because of the people coming in when he'd be working there.
Yeah, and
he'd remember everything he'd hear.
And he'd have those very strangest conversations with you, you know, when you meet him, they're very serious conversations. And I remember in the I think at the Paddy Green video, he talks about the Banshee. Isn't he one of the people that talked about the Banshee and seeing the Banshee or hearing of the Banshee?
But he was great for hearing other people's stories and then remembering them as his own stories.
I suppose lots of others were like that in those days, you know. Kathy Burke. I think it's Kathy Burke was her name. Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
And there's a small garden at the back, just next to Mylands, Winkle's Hotel.
That's right.
The walls are really thick.
It didn't get burned when Tom Gills got burned, did it?
I don't think so.
No.
But the walls are really, really thick. So the space inside were very small.
Right. And for people who don't know now, that's now part of the Burke's.
It's probably around
supermarket
the pharmacy.
Is it up that far? Is it that far up?
It was Tom Gills was next.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just above Tom Gills.
Yeah, around where Tom Gills' shop was.
Yeah,
where
so
I suppose part of the shop would be still there, like where the alcohol section of Burke's is, the Eurospar, would be on that section, and maybe around there you'd have the entrance into the B&B.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, somewhere around there I'd imagine it is, yeah.
And that's a load of turf down it. Again, that'll be Crenue weekend.
Oh, that'll be the Crenue, all right.
A load of turf.
No, do we recognise anybody there? I think is that Peggy Kilkelly that's there? Peggy Glenn.
You want to call her over a bit closer?
I'd say it is, isn't it?
It looks a bit like her, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it is, yeah.
I think it is. And down along here, then. See, there could be all strangers there, you know.
In the weekend, it could be.
And even that person there was who was the pony, I wonder, or the horse?
Well, I remember Mickey Martin had a white horse.
Maybe it was Mickey, because I think Mickey was in another photograph that we did earlier, and the
lovely horse, very low carts.
Yeah. I know there. What you have there are all the tacklings. You know, you can see them clearly there.
The hames.
Which is the hames is here, is it?
No, the hames is wrapped around the collar.
Oh right, it goes around the collar. That takes
and it's tied at the top.
Right. Okay. That takes the pressure.
You see the chain that's coming up. Well, that's connected to the hames. Yeah. See that chain just come up a little bit under your man's arm now.
Oh right, yeah.
There's a flat kind of an S hook. Oh, God. Just click it once and go. Yeah.
This chain here.
Yeah. See that flat S hook is attached to the hames.
Yes.
The hames is tied across at the top with a short leather strap.
Ah, right. Okay. So that's what gives the pulling power.
See the shaft in. There's a chain going across from one shaft to the other, then over the straddle, which is the centre. You can just see
that's the straddle there. Okay, yeah. And the breech.
Behind that then is the breech.
Breeches.
The breeches they call it.
The breeches they call it. Yeah.
But the carts at the back now, they're much lower than the normal ones that we had around here.
Are they?
Yeah, they're very, very low.
And
whatever they were used mainly for.
Yeah, because they're the regular wheels, and it's the iron rims around the wheels.
You see the frame of the cart.
Yeah.
There's a little bit sticking out in front.
That bit there.
No, that's just the cart, but
these things here.
See where that came out there. That's where people used to sit up when the carts would be off. they'd sit up there to drive the horse.
All right, okay. And you can see the place where the carts were held together there.
Yeah, and there'd be a pin then. See, there'd be a hole in the front one, and that
the pin would hold it in.
timber part would come through, and the pin would go down.
Yeah. Very, very, very ingenious.
The rider, that's what that was called, the bit that's sticking out.
That's bit there.
Yeah.
Was the rider.
You could sit up on that.
Ah, right, okay.
You could put a hand on the rider and a hand on the shaft and pop up on it.
Okay. Oh, that's a lovely picture now. I think both of the people in that.
Oh, you would, yeah.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Curtin, isn't it?
Mrs. Curtin, yeah.
And Mikey Green. No, they were the mayor and mayoress
that year.
That particular year.
An honorary role. I don't think that the pay was very good.
It was very honorary, but it was nice. And where was that? Was that in Seamount?
That was in Seamount.
Yeah, it looked to be in Seamount. And over along here then, was that Mrs. Dealey?
I'd say it was.
And that woman? I don't know her now.
She looks a bit like Mrs. Noon in Connemara. That's his mother.
God, you could be right. It could be Mrs. Noon. And Paddy Ford.
Paddy Ford, yeah.
And over this side, is that Mrs. O'Connor from Arna Grove?
That's like Mrs. Shaughnessy with the white.
That's Mrs. Shaughnessy. That's Paul's mother now, yeah. And Mary's mother. Just hard to see that one there clearly. Who's that one, I wonder there? It's hard to see who it is now.
Yeah, I think she's there in other pictures as well, but I probably didn't know who she was.
Yeah. But Mikey Green and Mrs. Curtin are there. Now, Mikey, of course, was the man from Stamford.
That's right.
Who came back and lived for some years here.
His later years.
Yeah. The great benefactor of Kinvara, with parcels and dollars at Christmas and all those kind of things. He's a lovely man. He was the manager of a shop over there, a store, and obviously very, very popular man with them in Stamford.
This goes right back to the.
Now, what was that? Our town?
What's his name? Paul Brennan.
Yeah, the Paul Brennan play.
Yeah, I'd say it was the Paul Brennan play.
Yeah, it looks like Our Town. I don't know what part that's Ger Conneely, what part he was playing it at. And that's Jeroen van Dommelay.
That's right, yeah.
And Quilcha Brennan was the...
It must be in Our Town because he's wearing what looks like an early American policeman's uniform.
Yeah, I think that was a... And it was done in Cool Park, though. That
picture was actually taken out at the back of John Griffin's in the old graveyard.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh. No, I thought, that would make sense, as a promotional picture, maybe.
It took it over them there.
For it, because that was one of my... I was in that particular play myself as the father of the bride of Jane O'Brien. Yeah. God, that's a long time ago now.
And that's the newborn.
The newborn. And where was that taken?
That's down in the Pound.
Oh, in the Pound. All right. And Michael
Stanton.
And is that one of the daughters?
No, she's the youngest of the Griffins.
All right. Okay. And Tommy.
And Tommy Heffernan.
Yeah, and Michael Stanton. God, he was young and lively in those days.
And that's Vincent.
A great picture of Vincent, isn't it? Let me see what can we get anybody else up there on it?
That's over in Linans in New Quay.
That was taken in Linans, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great picture of him playing the Bowron. Oh my, Sean
Terrell.
And was that taken
as well, yeah.
over in Linans as well? God, he was in his health there too, wasn't he? How long is he dead now? Is he dead 2 years?
Or I suppose he is.
Yeah, my God. You don't feel the time going.
And that was up in the hurling field.
No, was this a draw or something that the club had?
I have to do.
And did your man win a car?
Well, that's what it looks like.
I don't remember.
a draw for a car, but there must have been.
There must have been, I'd say, because that Derek seems to be giving
Or maybe he just
the
won
keys.
a driving lesson around the field.
Derek seems to be giving him the keys of a car.
Or taking it off.
Well, I'd say giving it would not be more likely, And Kevin Hoban, of course, and Taddy Byrne. And the car itself is inside on the pitch. So if
they're probably going to do donuts.
It was obviously for something important, otherwise it wouldn't have been inside in the pitch,
Yeah.
He was that man was that is that Michael? Michael, is that what his name? What was his name? Mike, is it McInerney? He's McInerney, isn't he?
I don't know who he is.
Oh, I think he's Michael McInerney.
From where?
Over in Shanklow.
Oh, is that right?
It looks like it, no, but maybe it's not him. I thought it was he. Yeah, and it does look like a raffle, and that they're giving the keys to him on his victory.
Yeah.
And this will be taken from, I think, around the same time.
Well, this is obviously Sean McMahon sponsoring jerseys.
Yeah, so you have Toddy again as one of the officers of the club, and Derek, I suppose, is an officer of the club, and Kevin Hoban, and Sean McMahon himself. Yeah, and I wonder where that's taken.
It says see the bars behind us on the way into the St. Joseph's Church.
Oh yes, I
Come
can
across from
see the bars there. Yeah, very nice photograph.
And that's up at the hurling field as well.
Would that be taken out during the community games?
No, what that was now, they were going entering something and they needed passport type pictures, and I took a series of them, and I took them in twos so to spare film.
Oh, all right,
they just
okay.
had to print the faces.
All right. So Catherine Kilkelly and Mrs. Mahan, Mrs. Michael Mahan from Geha.
Yeah.
Good Lord. And Catherine sporting her Pioneer badge, which she still has and has it.
She'd hardly give it up.
No, I don't think so. Deela Mahan, she'd be known as Deela Mahan.
Passed away lately.
She did, poor Deela.
She was a great singer.
Was she?
I heard her sing with Mary Kane once. Yeah,
all right, good. I didn't realise that. You don't know the talents that people have at all.
And they would have been taken the same day now. The Stanton
They're two sisters, yeah. Kathleen and Margaret. Is that Margaret?
Yeah. Well, that's Kathleen on the right. It's
Kathleen here on the right, yeah, and then Margaret.
They look almost like twins there,
didn't they? Yeah.
So that's taken. Remember the little gate, the little place for taking the tickets going into the hurling field. You can see someone had painted on the wall.
Oh, inside. I see that. Yeah, I see that.
That's at the gate.
Goodness me.
And that's Bishop Eamon.
Bishop Eamon receiving this presentation from Emily Kilkelly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's that guy there? I wonder.
I don't know.
I don't like
the man in the background.
Yeah, I don't recognise him. No, I don't recognise him at all. And Eamon in his health in those days.
Oh yeah, he was an important man that time.
He was indeed.
That would have been the same.
It'd be the same time. So now here you have Father Calnan, Miss O'Connor,
Mary Shaughnessy,
Mrs. Costello, Eamon himself, Eilish, God rest her,
Eric Kilkelly, Mrs. Quinn,
Molly
sister
Quinn,
of Mrs. Costello.
That's right, God rest her as well, and
Miss Connors as well.
She's Miss Connors up from Arnagrove there, isn't she? Now I wonder what that's the same occasion, I take it, that he's out in Kinvara. I wonder what it was for.
Well, judging by the background now, it must have been the community centre. See, there's a fire extinguisher. It wasn't in Seamount because they wouldn't have a fire extinguisher hanging up on the wall like that.
Right.
So it must be in the community centre. I haven't a clue now what it was.
I wonder what the occasion was that they were all there. Now, do you know those two ladies?
Well, that's Mrs. Shaughnessy in Kinvara. She left. Paul's mother.
No, that's not Paul's mother.
Oh yeah, I thought it was.
No. I know her face, but I can't put a name on her. And this lady I don't know at all.
Yeah, I think she was in the other picture we saw her in the background.
Oh, that's right. She looked like Mrs. O'Connor.
But I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
I was
no, that's not Mrs. Shaughnessy. I know Mrs. Shaughnessy. No, that's not her. No.
That's Mrs. McGuire.
Mrs. McGuire. I was wondering the other night. Now I was looking at that, and I was wondering who she was. So that's Mrs. McGuire.
Yeah, she lived up in the two-story house, and on the left when we gone up to Skillina.
Yeah. What's your name of that place that's up there? So past riders, where
Do you know the cave is Paul Gorham? Well, that's right in beside their house.
All right. So she's Mrs. McGuire. She'd be Tommy McGuire's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was a great woman for the snuff.
Is that right? Yeah. Snuff, though, a lot of people were great people for the snuff back in the day. I remember I used to get it for McMorrin's wife in Kinvara up to Tully's and get the snuff and bring it down.
Now that's
this is our town. Is definitely our town, and that's Philip Sweeney, Jen O'Brien, and what's that lady's name? I can't remember her name now.
She was in other photographs now.
Yeah. No, Diane. That's what it is. Diane. That's Diane. Jane was my daughter in the play, and she married at the end of it.
It's very authentic looking picture.
Isn't it? Very, very good. I think
Diane Reid.
I think Petra Brannock might have done the costuming for it.
Yeah, she did a good job. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Petra was very good doing that.
She was in it as well.
And that's is that Tony Warwick's little wife up from Arnagrove? I'm not sure. I'm not sure
either, but it's a nice picture.
It's a nice picture, yeah. And like it's a period one that stands out, you know.
And this looks like a big.
Is this Joe? That was called now. That was called doing the pongo. It was an early form of bingo.
Big money in that, I'd say.
Yeah, and clubs used to use it for fundraisers. And
you're trying to raise enough money to plaster the wall behind.
That's right. Yeah, it got one round of plastering, but you could still see the blocks through it. So you have Joe Keane there in charge of it, and Paddy Geraghty recording. I'd say.
Recording the numbers.
And Mary Walsh, who was doing some kind of recording of it as well. Now that's.
What are the things they take up? Are the numbers inside those?
They're the balls, with the numbers. There's a.
How would they pick them? How would they select them?
I suppose it was done the same way as they do it for the bingo.
Well, that's done.
You have a turn.
I see.
You put the balls into it, and then somebody picks a ball out, and you put it into the number.
Oh yeah.
Every one of them had a number on that little frame there.
Already gone through then.
Yeah. So they were keeping track of them, you know. But it was the original of the bingo kind of thing. Now, is that the 25? We said Joe Kane, from Michael Brook to Joe Kane, so we must have gone. So would we have gone through 25?
Well, that's Joe Kane anyway.
So I presume that's the first tranche of them. So now we'll go to the next tranche. And there,
this is another big gambling occasion.
It is, yeah.
The nail and the board.
Now, how were they used? Did that spin?
Yeah. There's a nail. And the board numbers.
You spun it around.
There's a piece of leather.
Yeah.
And stop between the nails.
Yeah.
Very high tech.
Yeah, very high tech. So Toddy is the man in charge of that. Who's here?
That looks like Mrs. Mooney.
Do you think it is?
Mooney's wife, yeah. I think that's what it was. That's what it looks like.
Chris? I don't know. But anyway, we'll certainly find out, I'd say, from them who it is. And would you love to know what it was for? Because it's in the hall as well.
Obviously raising money for the hall.
Yeah, could be. Sure, a lot of money had to be raised to try and pay off that whole loan we had from the Building Society.
And that backstage of the play in the
backstage and all those. You had
Susan Joyce.
That's Susan Joyce. And is that Valerie? Or is it Ruth? I said it might be Valerie.
Or maybe Karen. I'm not sure now. It's one of them anyway.
One of them anyway. And Mary McLaughlin. And
Siobhan Hare.
Oh, is that Siobhan Hare?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So that's who it is. We won't find out who the lady is there with her. Now, we're here and we're starting off. What was the last one we did? The previous one that we did there?
Spin the wheel.
the spin the wheel. So this number section 2 then goes from T burn spinning wheel. So this is number 2. So number 3. This is from the same time, I'd say.
Yeah.
This is backstage as well, isn't it? For they're all getting ready. Oh, is that one of the O'Connors in Newtown Lynch?
It looks like him, all right.
Doesn't it?
The next fella anyway is Corliss.
Yeah, that's Enda, I'd
yeah,
say. It's
yeah.
Enda Corliss, yeah.
And then let's call him Corliss with the glasses, I'd say.
It could be, or is it Martin?
Oh,
I don't know, it's one of the Corlisses anyway.
Yeah, it might be, I don't know which one it is.
Oh.
But Colin might be most likely because he used to
be involved. Okay. And
that's one of the Barrys. Is it Mary Barry?
Gee, I don't know.
I'd say it's Mary Barry.
You think
behind her is Elva Birmingham.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Elva. Okay, so Elva.
Susan Joyce with the cap.
Susan Joyce with the cap here. Okay. So getting ready to put on their production.
Yeah. There would have been a youth club.
Oh, youth club one. Okay.
And the fellow that hat is H.P. Connors from Norman Grove up there somewhere.
All right. So number 4.
That's Aoife McMahon with the mirror. Yeah, see him.
Oh, there's Aoife with the mirror, and that's the man with the hat again there. Who'd you say he was?
I think it's Connors.
Could be, no, he could be.
And that's Debbie here doing up Mary Barry's makeup.
Debbie Hare, that's for Debbie, is it?
Yeah.
And that's Mary Barry.
Mary Barry.
Okay, and again for
into Corliss in the background.
And into Corliss in the background there. And number 5, we're still back.
Okay.
Now this is a what would you call it? A sketch or something that they're doing.
Yeah, they're obviously waiting for the curtains to be drawn back.
The farming.
That's
and
Leslie
cookery.
Joyce.
So Leslie's there. She's in charge of this. She's somebody important in it.
Yeah, going to do a quiz. Mary Barry again.
Is that Mary Barry?
Yeah.
And who's that?
Would it be Joe Byrne?
You know, it could be. I can't see him clearly enough, but it could be. And this is Eilish McMahon.
And Martin Corliss. Is that
Noel Monaghan?
I'd say it's Noel Monaghan, yeah. And Michael Sullivan has his back turned.
Who?
Michael Sullivan.
Is that? Oh yeah, that's Michael, all right. Yeah, it was back turned to us, and that's a youth club production as well. Yeah. And this number 6, is it?
That's Joe Stanton.
Joe Stanton, my goodness, playing away for himself up there on stage, playing the fiddle. I've never seen him play in recent years now.
Well, he used to play it, all right.
Yeah.
And that would have been an intermission during the...
All right, he'd be entertaining the audience during the intermission. Very good.
And that's a graduation picture up in Seamount.
No.
The leave inserts.
She's O'Connor, is she?
No, she's Furdham.
Oh, Furdham, that's right. She is one of the Furdhams.
And the girl standing on the left first
is
Connor's.
Yeah, Bobby's daughter, isn't it? Yeah. And that's Marita Barry.
Marita Barry.
And then Miss Furdham, and she's McCormick.
Michelle McCormick.
That's Michelle, is it?
Yeah, Mary Birmingham.
Is that Mary?
Yeah.
Mary Birmingham.
Not sure now who the...
Oh, that lady.
See, some of those would be borders.
They would, yeah. We wouldn't necessarily know them. And if we go back here...
I don't know who she is.
That's one of the Kilkellys.
She's Kilkelly.
I don't know those ones here.
That girl there in the dark clothes, she's Ward from Connemara. Her father was a painter.
Is that right?
I forget his first name. Richard, I think.
Richard Ward. Okay.
And she's one of the...
She Hines?
No, I think she's Krauss.
Yeah, oh, yes, she could be. One of Rainer's daughters, yeah.
I forget now who some of the other ones are.
I know.
I think she was American.
Who?
The tall girl.
That girl here? That person?
I seem to remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are from Valentine as well.
Yeah, you know, we wouldn't necessarily know them.